Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is part 2 of my Restylane injections video. If you missed part 1 and you want to check it out, I'm going to go ahead and put a link in the description box below. And that's just kind of the before and immediately after, and then the following days, like the 5 following days after having the injections. And that's pretty important because I bruised really badly on this side of my face. I still have a little bit of a bruise there. And this side of the face just kind of healed really quickly. So you know, if this is something that you're considering doing and you happen to bruise really easily, know that you probably will bruise if you get this done, because in the tear trough area around the eyes, it's just very vascular, and there's a lot of capillaries and veins and arteries, and it's really common to bruise and to swell after getting injections in that area. So if you do, you're definitely going to want to have some sort of peace of mind, because it can be very scary to go through. Of course, your mind goes to the worst and you think, oh my God, you know, I'm going to lose my skin, or I'm going to lose my eye vision, or, you know, those are the things that you just naturally think of. It could not have bruised any worse than it did on me. So hopefully that might give you peace of mind. So just to start off, wanted to let you guys know that I've already set up an appointment for a touch-up, because about day 5 or 6, this side looked so great. I was so happy. There was so much volume. I was running around from mirror to mirror, just extremely pleased with the results, just giggling and stuff. But after day 6, and right now we're about 2.5 weeks out, around day 6 or 7, the swelling just kept going, you know, and I was like, no, you know, so it just went down so much that I can see, you know, the groove again. And not as bad as before, so there's definitely still improvement over there, just not like it was like day 5 or 6, where I was really, you know, the happiest. Now on this side, I bruised really bad, as you guys know, and probably around, oh my gosh, not even like 4 days ago, maybe like 3 days ago. Yeah, it was like 3 days ago. I still had just a really concentrated kind of accumulation of something. I don't know what it was. It looked like broken capillaries, because it was really red and really blue, and it was just right there. And I started looking up stuff about bruising. I was so, oh my gosh, I'm such an idiot, because I didn't even look up stuff like related to Restylane. I was just looking up bruising, and it was saying that if you have something like that, one of the things that you can do is just really massage it out, because sometimes you just need to break it up so that it can be reabsorbed into your body and stuff like that. So I sat there and I was pressing so hard, I mean, just over and over and over. That night I went to bed, and as I was going to sleep, I was like, oh my God, like what was I thinking? You know, you're not supposed to press your face and stuff that hard whenever you've gotten Restylane or any type of filler, you know. I don't think I moved anything around, because the swelling and the kind of ridge that is there was there already. So hopefully that's just still associated with the bruising. I'm hoping so. Like I said, I've got an appointment set up in about a week. So I'm going to ask about that for sure. But the next morning, it definitely broke up all that, you know, concentrated accumulation. But I got a new bruise just from pressing so hard. So I'm actually a little still swollen and a little bruised on this side, and that's my own fault. But so I really don't even know at this point what it's going to look like in a week or so, you know. And that's one thing you really need to keep in mind. If you do something like this, don't try to figure out how it's going to look by the end of the month, because there is no way of knowing. Every single morning that I woke up, my face looked completely different than the next. Not only does that area look different because it's now fuller than it was, because volume's been replaced, the skin actually looks quite different the first like week or so. So there was just a lot to wrap your mind around at first, because, you know, it's funny, even though you don't like the puffiness and you don't like the hollowness and stuff, once you get that filled in and you look quite a bit different. Not so different, because you didn't mess with the shape of your eyes and your mouth and everything else, but suddenly you look at that area under a microscope more than you even did prior, when you were unhappy with that area. And so like I said, the skin even looked a little different, because where the grooves were, that skin texture was just a lot smoother and softer. So on either side of the groove, there was a different skin texture, And that kind of worked itself out, maybe day 6 or 7, maybe even a little bit longer than that. But I just kept thinking, oh my gosh, it looks so different to me. However, I was literally like nose to nose with a mirror. So, you know, looking at me from a distance, you know, even this far, I don't think you would have been able to see the difference in my skin texture there. But that is something to consider because like I said, before I even got this done, I already had asymmetry. This was like a perfect U and this was more like a W, just the grooves and the puffiness over here. So it's funny how after you get something like this done, like I said, you are so honed in and focused on that area that you forget what you look like. So, you know, I want to go ahead and jump right in because I really want to give you guys things to think about and consider if you are considering, you know, getting Restylane in the tear troughs. So let me just go ahead, and I've got some notes here, and I just realized that I accidentally erased half of them because I closed the program without saving it first. So I'm going to try to remember what I wrote. But okay, so the first thing that you should definitely do is take a ton of photos, and don't wait till the last minute because you're just going to get them in your car or something silly like that. You really need to go through different areas of your house where the lighting is really different. Take a bunch of different photos from all different angles. Take them out in the sunlight. Get as close up as you possibly can. I would also say that you should get some video because whenever I was healing and stuff, I started seeing, you know, a little bit of my puffiness over here, and it looked like it was, I didn't know if it was my anatomy or if it was the product, and it was kind of freaking me out a little bit. Luckily, I have a YouTube channel, so I just went and watched one of my other videos where I really showed that area of my face, and there it was, and it was my anatomy. So I'm so glad that I had that because I was so worried and so concerned that it was actually the filler and not my, you know, my anatomy. So anyways, you're going to want to do that because like I said, after you get this done, you're really going to be focusing really big time on that area and, you know, thinking, what does it look different? Does it look the same? Did I have that before or didn't I? So that's going to give you peace of mind if you do have those photos and stuff that you can reference. Okay, so the next thing that you should do is obviously choose a really good doctor. Now we are talking about the area around your eyes, and that area can be extremely unforgiving. You know, even right now, you know, I feel like I'm still in the healing process, and even though I think that there's improvement from before, I still have an asymmetry, and I'm still like, oh, you know, I've never once said like, I wish I wouldn't have done this, but I've definitely had some concerns about certain things. So, and that's why, once again, I set up an appointment for next week. But so you want to find a good doctor, and you want to find either a board certified plastic surgeon, a facial plastic surgeon, a dermatologic surgeon, or what is that called? An ophthalmologist surgeon. I think that's what it's called. Okay, so the next thing you want to do after you've kind of narrowed it down to 2 or 3 doctors is you want to make some phone calls, and before you even set up a consultation, because some offices require you to pay for a consultation. And the place that I went to, I want to say it was $125 for a consultation, and then if you decide to do the procedure, then they put that money towards the procedure. Which I already knew that I was going to do it that day. I was traveling out of the city that I live in, and I was traveling, you know, quite a ways to go get this done. So I knew I was going to be getting it done. So I wasn't worried about that. But one thing that you definitely want to ask is, and what also made me feel really comfortable is that when I did set up the appointment, the girl that I was talking to on the phone, she told me who was going to be doing my injections, and it wasn't the actual doctor. To have him do it, I would have had to wait 2 extra months. And just to see her, I had to wait a whole month and a half, which seems like a long time when you really want to get something like that done, you know? But it also was a little comforting to me that she had such a wait time, you know, because that means she's doing a lot of other people's tear troughs before mine, you know? So anyways, and she was trained beneath him. She's been working for him for 10 years. So I just really trusted her, and I still do, even though I bruised, you know? So anyways, so before you get a consultation, so like I said, I called to set up the appointment, and the girl told me that the girl that was given my injections, the girl that would be doing my injections, has actually done 2 of the receptionists tear troughs in the office right there, and then asked me if I wanted to speak with one of them. And that was just really comforting to me. So it's just like, no, I'll just see him when I get there, you know. But anyways, so when you're setting up a consultation, you want to ask, because you don't want to go wasting money on a consultation if they're not going to do things the way you want them to do them anyways, you know. One thing that I wanted to be really sure of was that they were going to use what's called a cannula. And that is just a blunt tipped something or other. And I don't exactly know how to explain it. But anyways, it's a blunt edge kind of way of injecting the product to kind of minimize bruising and accidentally hitting a vein or an artery or a capillary or something like that. And it really reduces the chance of occlusion, which everybody is so afraid of, and that's when the product is injected right straight into a vein or artery, and then it kind of suffocates the artery and your skin starts to die. So, or you can go blind, you know. That's so incredibly rare. They say it's like 0 to 1% that it's ever happened. I think I read that it's only documented twice ever have happening, but that would be really scary. But if they're using a cannula, it's so blunt that it's very difficult to nick, you know, any of the veins and arteries and capillaries beneath the skin. Now, I think the reason that I got nicked is because she did use a cannula, but at the very end, when I had said, you know, I'm a little concerned about this area right there, she was like, I'm gonna have to go in from a different angle. And they say, and I was reading at realself.com, that a lot of doctors do use cannulas, but if there's any tweaks that they can't reach or that they need to do a fine tuning at the end, that they'll go in straight with a needle. And I think that's what she did. And I think that's why she hit or nicked something and it caused me to bruise immediately. So, so you're definitely going to want to make sure that they use a cannula. You might also want to ask about how they prep you for the injections, what kind of numbing that they do. I didn't ask that at all. I didn't even know. I literally went in like not knowing what to expect. I did ask the question about the cannula, but I didn't know about preparation. I hadn't even read anything about preparation. So let me tell you what happened when I walked in the office. First of all, I walk in and I meet with the lady that's going to be doing my injections. And she was so sweet and she explained everything to me. She told me about all the risks, that I might bruise, that I might have lumpiness, that I might have, you know, every single risk that you could possibly imagine. And then she just kind of looked at me to make sure I was a good candidate. And obviously I was. So then after that, the plastic surgeon came in to talk to me and just to look at me again and, you know, basically verify that I was deformed in that area. I don't know, you know, I don't know why he had to go verify that, you know, I was a candidate for it, but whatever. And so he just talked to me about a few things and stuff. And so then she had me go to the bathroom and wash my face off really, really well. So then I come out and then I lay on this, you know, nice big comfortable chair. And she cleaned me up really good with the alcohol and stuff like that. And then she's like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and give you a dental block. And I was like, what? Oh my gosh, for the tear troughs? Because I was thinking, hold on, you do know I'm getting my tear troughs, not my mouth. So she's like, yeah, you know, it just helps to really, you know, for your comfort level. So I was like, okay. So she gave me a dental block on the top of each side of my mouth. And she explains to me that I'm going to start feeling numb in the center of my face, and it's going to start feeling like I can breathe really easier, that my nose is running and stuff like that. Sure enough, it did start feeling like that. It was really uncomfortable. I wasn't prepared for that, so it was just kind of unusual. So then she's like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and make 2 injection sites on each cheek. But before that, I think she gave me some lidocaine shots, like a few, 2 or 3 on each side. Then she made some insertion points on each cheek. And I don't know if they put the cannula in the insertion point or if it goes on the end of the needle. I still don't know that. And I tried to do a little research. I just could not figure that out. So I don't want to give you the wrong information. But they put 1 injection site on each side. That's if they're using a cannula. If they're just using a straight needle, they'll just go shot, 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 all the way up and down, you know, and around that area. But some doctors prefer that technique, so you just kind of have to know that going in. So anyways, so then she starts on this side, and she literally, you know, you have to keep your eyes open, and they want you to just look straight forward. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, this is gonna be so weird, you know, but you really can't even see the needle. You can't see anything. It's too close, you know, to your peripheral vision to see anything. So she goes in, and then I guess she pushes up, and she goes all the way up here and starts to drop some drops. Then she takes it over that way and does that side. But anyways, so she goes up and down and up and down. Well, then she goes over to this side, and she gives me another little lidocaine shot, and then once again she inserts through that hole, and then just takes the needle, and then just kind of drops, and then comes back down, takes it out, does the other side. So this side took, I want to say, oh my gosh, like 10 minutes, and it seems like forever when you're sitting there and somebody has a needle in your face. I mean, I think I was clenching my hands so tight. She actually had to tell me to breathe because I think I was just holding my breath. So I really had to kind of concentrate on continuing to breathe. Then she went over here, and I swear, I feel like she took like 5 minutes, you know, it was like 10 minutes over here, maybe a little bit longer, and then maybe, you know, 5, 6, or 7 minutes on this side. And then she showed me the results, and right away I was pretty pleased. However, it seemed like I had swollen immediately right in this area. So it looked like a giant dent right here. And so I was just like, I don't know about that. And so that's when she tried to go in without the cannula and just try. She goes, I'm going to go in from a different angle and from a different injection site. And I was like, okay. And so as she was doing it, I remember thinking, am I being so picky and this is going to backfire? And sure enough, it did. And so she's like, immediately, she goes, oh my gosh, okay, you're definitely going to bruise. You're going to bruise. And I'm so sorry, you know. And so, so then she gave me some ice, an ice pack, and we put it on there. And she's like, you know, to be honest with you, at this point, I want to leave that alone because I don't want to be chasing a swell. You seem to have already swollen kind of immediately with just the cannula, you know. There wasn't any bruising yet, but there was swelling. Well, when she went in from there, it literally, from that injection site, that's where the bruise formed. It went straight from there all the way up to here. So I'm thinking that that might be a vein or something that she nicked, and maybe it's still healing. But right when it bruised up on the way home, right away, whenever I was in my car, it didn't look that bad. I was just like, oh, okay, you know, that's gonna go down. It was so minor. On the way home, that whole area was just getting more and more blue, and it was getting really wide and really flat with like very straight edges, it seemed like. And I thought, oh my gosh, you know, what is going on? And it just was getting really hard, and it was kind of freaking me out. And so that night, I mean, the whole way home, you know, I had like a 4.5 hour drive home. I just iced and iced and iced the whole way home. If you saw my other video, see my other video, you can see how badly it continued to bruise and then kind of went down. Now, I'm still, like I said, I'm concerned about that. I messed with it the other day, and so I feel like the swelling had gone down, but I still had that big bruise thing. When I messed with it again, I feel like this little, I want to say, I call it a ridge. It looks a little like a ridge. Now, in some areas in my bathroom, I don't see it at all. But in these lights, everything seems to show up. I feel like my bruising showed up really bad in these lights and stuff like that. I feel like in these lights I can see just kind of, you know, some ridges or something. But let me tell you this also. After you get home and you start just kind of touching this area of your face, it literally feels like bone. Like you can feel the product. It's not soft at all. It literally felt like bone, and I was thinking, oh my God, it was just really uncomfortable. That first week was really, really uncomfortable. Every day since then, and now that it's 2.5 weeks out, it's not hard. It's soft. I can still feel it a little bit. It just softens every single day. And she did tell me, you know, that your body, you know, your tissue and the product, they'll have to find a balance. And once they do, then it's just really gonna all soften up and everything like that. So, so I can still feel it just a little bit, but not too bad. Not like at first. At first, it was really, really hard. And in other areas of my house, like in the bathroom, I could see that ridge. Now I can't really see it much in my bathroom or in my car or anything like that, but with these bright lights, I can definitely see it. So Like I said, I've never once said, you know, God, I wish I wouldn't have done this, but it has been a lot to kind of take in, because, you know, it's her face, and like I said, you know, if you do bruise, that is going to bring a bunch of stress on its own, because it's really hard to be out in public, you know, with a giant bruise on your face, as a woman. So you know what, I'm going to bring you in really close. I'm going to see if I could just kind of zoom it. Let's see. Does that blur it? Okay. Okay, here I am really close up. And as you can see, on this side, there's really just a lot of fullness, you know, especially right in here. I could do without this. And it's actually tender to the touch. This whole area, my God. I was pressing really, really hard. Over here, it's lost some of the fullness. So when I tilt down like this, which I never walk around the world, I never walk around out in public with my head tilted down like that. But when I do, you can see the groove there. Now the grooves have come up quite a bit. Like if you watch the beginning of my last video, my grooves look really, really low. And so that has come up quite a bit, which I'm happy about because that's an improvement. Over here, there's still a lot of fullness and I just want that gone. But there's just not a lot of grooves on that side, you know? So I'm glad I'm gonna get this touched up. So we'll see. Okay, that's close up. It's about as close up as you can get, I think. I think I blur whenever I get too close. Okay, so that is the end of this video. Also, I wanted to mention the place that I went to, they won't even do, unless you're extremely deformed in that area, they will only start with one syringe to cover both eyes. And the reason being is because it's always so much easier to correct an underfill than it is to correct an overfill. So you probably only want to start with one syringe. I'm glad that I did, and so now I can go and get a touch-up. To let you know, I paid $700 for my injections. It was one syringe. When you break that down over the course of a year, it's supposed to last a year to 18 months. When you break that down, it really comes out to less than $60 a month, which is less than women spend on their hair and nails and everything else. So it was totally worth it for me. Now, because I am having the touch-up, I do have to pay for the touch-up, and it's going to be a half syringe, and so that's going to be somewhere around $300. But so still, when you break that down, it's still like in the $80 range, you know, a month. So anyways, so that's it. I hope I answered a lot of questions. I hope you were able to, you know, learn from this, and so and you have a better understanding of what you're getting yourself into. So anyways, thank you for watching, and I will see you at my next video.